Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome three-time ranking event winner and first-time finalist here, Kyren Wilson. And a five-time champion of the world, the rocking Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Savour this moment. It is the Betfred World Championship 2020 final. Let's join our rock and roll stars, Ken Doherty and Dennis Taylor.
Thank you, Jason. I don't know about rock and roll stars, but we're here and we're hoping that Kyren can make a bit of a comeback here. But Ronnie O'Sullivan was awesome in the third session, but you just never, ever know with this game. Kyren will just go out and give it his best shot. He's got all his family with him.
Thanks a lot.
He's done wonderful to get this far.
Thank you.
Let's hope he can get it to the friends.
What a wonderful reception for both players. And how great it is to have the crowd in as well, Dennis, for the final. What a treat.
Yeah, an awful lot of Ronnie supporters there, but I'll tell you what, they'd love Kyren to make a comeback here. Almost got to just one frame behind, just a couple of little shots that didn't work out for Kyren.
Yeah, the red last night to cut the deficit to 9-8, and of course the pink in the middle in this afternoon session was crucial. And then of course Ronnie went on that 7-frame winning streak. He was awesome today. Different player than he was yesterday for sure.
Well, as I mentioned this afternoon, Ronnie was in the Crucible at 9 o'clock this morning practicing, so we sorted that cue action that he wasn't very happy with last night.
What about Kyren Wilson, Dennis? What would you say to him going out there tonight?
Listen, just go out and enjoy it. You've done remarkably well. You had one of the most incredible last frames in the semi-final that I've ever seen. You've knocked out the defending champion. Just enjoy yourself.
Early chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Is he on the pink into the right centre? Looks like it.
And the way these balls are situated, this might not last very long.
7.
Yeah, he's
8.
Although he's a little bit short with the cue ball there, may have to bridge over this red. Slightly hampered. Yeah.
Just a shot before
O'Sullivan 8.
that left him hampered. I mean, he had a great chance. He had 5 or 6 open reds and just got himself slightly out of position there.
No, he's unlucky there, isn't he?
1.
Tried to kiss that pack to stay in the black into the left corner, and just look where he's landed.
Yeah, just missed the cannon on the red that he intended then. It's usually the way when you're struggling a little bit, you never get the run of the ball.
Ramble.
Can he land in behind the brown? You'd have to be so precise here. Tell you what, it's a good effort.
Kyren Wilson 1.
But he's left a long pot for Ronnie, who couldn't buy a long pot in the third session, but today he's been much better. A bit like that.
1.
Cue that in beautifully. Just a little bit too far for the blue, so that's why he's going to take the yellow. He's been a different player today, hasn't he, Dennis? Completely different to the way he was yesterday. Looked very tired, drained. He's come out today firing on all cylinders.
4.
Been an awesome display this afternoon.
I mean, the semi-final against Mark Selby was remarkable as well. He looked as if he was heading out. Mark Selby was playing
6.
well, and Ronnie was having a little fling of the cue at all sorts, and then he produced 3 magical frames, including a break of 138.
Nicely on the black. And he's got a couple of options of reds into the opposite corner pocket.
$14. 15.
Perfect. On the blue, just a stun down for, may stun down for the red, just above the black, but if he comes up short, he'll still be okay with a red into the center. He's played that perfectly.
20. 21.
2 of his 5 world titles that he won. The scoreline was 18-8. That was 2004 against Graham Dutt.
28.
2008 against Ali Carter.
29.
And every chance he could be lifting that silver lady again with an 18-8 scoreline.
Yes, and of course, it'll be for the 6th time, joining the likes of Ray Reardon and
36.
Steve Davis. One more to go to equal the great Stephen Hendry, and I'm sure that will keep him going.
37. $44.
And it's a World Championship that's had
45.
everything, Dennis. Lots of wonderful stories, lots of drama. The 147 and those 2 semi-finals. What a treat we've had over the last 17 days.
50.
That's the end. And look at Kyren Wilson in the background. He's one of the nicest lads you could ever wish to meet. He's got all his family here with him, and he's got nothing to be ashamed of. He has put up a fantastic
58.
display throughout this year's Betfred World Championship. He really has.
59.
And if he carries on the way he's doing, it's only a matter of time before he does lift the world title.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And beautiful act of sportsmanship there, clapping for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
66. 67.
Well, could he finish with a century break? He's made 12 century breaks.
70.
Somebody in the audience said, make a century, Ronnie.
71.
And he doesn't know it, but if he can clear up here, it'll be £25,000 for the children's charity, Jessie May. So come on, Ronnie.
Missed the grain. Oh, lovely. What a shot.
76.
Well, there's no better sight in snooker to see Ronnie O'Sullivan in full flow, that's for sure.
78.
And all the questions will be, can he equal Stephen Hendry's
81.
7 world titles? You wouldn't put it past him. He's 45 years of age. He's playing as good as he's ever played.
85.
Oh, pull up, White. Pull up.
As all great champions do, Dennis. They finish in style. And they're certainly doing that now.
Don't hit the black full ball. Just flick off it. Flick the black.
96.
Take your time, Ronnie. He's miscued. Unbelievable, no century break. One opportunity and great sportsmanship from Kyren Wilson. And nice to see the two players having a chat there. 6 world titles for Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. Unbelievable. Just one away from Stephen Hendry's record. It's great to see them chatting away. But Ronnie O'Sullivan is the 2020 Betfred World Snooker Champion. Well played to both players.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been, without doubt, the most poignant build-up to any World Championship we've had here in the 44 years at the Crucible. And before we interview these two Herculean men, on behalf of everybody connected with this fantastic event, we wanted to extend our gratitude to a number of people. Firstly, to tens of thousands of key workers up and down the country who we'll never meet, and thanks to them, all of us have got back to the job we love, to the sport we love, to the city we love. Equally, to all the familiar faces here at the Crucible, their staff and the World Snooker staff who've put an incredible amount of health and safety in place. You've never seen so many protocols backstage, so much hand sanitizer. Thanks to them, we have felt safe. And lastly, thanks not only to these two, but to all 31 professional snooker players who turned up here in Sheffield on day one to bare their souls to the world and entertain us for 17 long days and remind us what a big part of our lives sport is and will continue to be for many years to come. And Kyren, I'd like nothing more than to give you a hug at the moment. I can't, for all the obvious reasons. This has been an absolutely incredible run to your maiden final. Only 30 men have ever played in the Sports Ultimate Match. That's how hard it is to get here. You should be so proud of what you've achieved over these 17 days.
Yeah, it's, you know, I'm 28 years old. I'm not going to beat myself up too much. I'm playing the greatest of all time. For me, it was a dream come true, knowing that I was going to be playing Ronnie in the final. obviously, you know, you can't respect him too much or else he'll walk all over you, which is what's happened to me today. So, yeah, for me, look, it's brilliant. I've got the two most important people to me sat right here. They'll learn from this. It'll make them stronger as well.
Listen, you said you rolled over today, but you could have rolled over at 8-2 last night, and you got yourself right back in the hunt late on. You showed some real character last night.
Yeah, I'm a fighter. I'll always be a fighter. I really struggled in the first session. I think we probably both had a little bit of a hangover from the semi-finals. And then I just thought, you know, I'd just relax, let the shackles off, go for it. And I was just annoyed that World Snooker wouldn't let me carry on and play the whole match last night, to be honest with you.
Well, you mentioned that semi-final. I've got to tell, I'm not sure whether your brother Taylor told you this, but he came into the press room and spoke to us and said at the beginning of that frame, he didn't know whether he was going to wet himself or be sick, and he walked 6 miles round the circumference of Sheffield. There were millions of people glued to their televisions. You somehow scraped yourself off the floor. That semi-final victory to book this maiden final was breathtaking, and it will never, ever be forgotten. We're not quite sure how you came through that.
I'm not sure myself. Yeah, obviously, you know, it could well have been Anthony stood here right now. I got... Anthony, yeah. Yeah, I was a bit lucky in the decider, but yeah, it was a phenomenal match, one that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And yeah, hopefully, obviously, me and Anthony have a few more battles here over the years. But look, at the end of the day, the night belongs to Ronnie. He was amazing throughout the final, shown his class when he probably wasn't quite at his best, and still stuck it out. So he was awesome this morning, especially as well. I was very impressed.
Well, that shows incredible class that you are, once again, turning the spotlight on Ronnie. One other thing I'd like to ask you, people sometimes say there are no characters in snooker anymore. It's absolute rubbish. Yours has been an incredible journey. It's only a few years ago you were off the tour, playing a little bit for fun, working in a bar. You've had these two fantastic young men added to your life. It's lit a fire underneath you, and here you are up at world number 6. This has been a great journey, and it continues to be so.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's lockdowns lit a fire on my head as well. The hair dye. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I've got phenomenal family, friends, coach, sponsors, everything behind me. I'm a very lucky young man at 28 to have what I have and be playing the sport that I love, and it's given me an amazing life. And to perform in front of you guys has been an honour, and I'm glad that obviously the crowd were allowed in for the final. It's been amazing to perform in front of you guys.
Kyren, spoken like a true champion. You have won 3 ranking titles, and hopefully there will be a Triple Crown triumph coming soon. I can't hand you the silver medal, but would you please step forward to collect your runner-up medal and your cheque, yeah, that one, and your cheque for £200,000. Kyren Wilson, ladies and gents. Can we hug? We've both been tested. Ladies and gents, we are in the presence of sporting greatness. History has been made tonight by Ronnie O'Sullivan. Absolutely incredible. Your 6th world title, and now you are tied with Reardon and Davis. Amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I never really think about titles, because when I was a kid, I never dreamed I'd be here. I just was playing for the fun of the game, and I still try and play for the fun of it. But to be here and, you know, I've had all them victories, and you know, it's a dream, but it's kind of becoming a bit of a reality as well. So it's nice to be living your dream in that sort of way, you know.
Your last title was 2013. Was there a spell during those years where you thought you might never get your hands on the Silver Lady again?
Yeah, you can never say never, but there was a part of me that decided that, you know, I probably didn't play enough, and I still probably don't play enough to justify winning, you know, a tournament of this stature, you know, because it's an endurance test, and if I'm not really an endurance type snooker player, because I don't compete enough. But you know, the lockdown gave me a chance to play on some decent, you know, because I haven't even got a practice facility, believe it or not. So my friend installed a couple of tables in his office in London. So I was able to play on good tables for a change, which was great. And I come here feeling comfortable with my tools, really. So I had a half a chance. I never expected to win it, though, to be honest with you.
Spoken with real modesty for a guy that's lifted it 5 times and now 6. Ronnie, there have been so many great achievements down the years. Your first Triple Crown triumph at the age of 17 in 1993, winning this one after a year off, 1,000 centuries, your 19th Triple Crown title when you won the UK in 2018. Where does this sit in the all-time performances of your career? It's got to be right there near the top, surely.
Listen, any world title you win's got to be up there. You know, it's great to be able to win over the 17 days here. You know, you come here, you got to play a lot of solid shots and be solid in all departments. And you know, even though I might not have felt I'd done that, I must have done, because these guys are too good on tour to give it to you. You know, and I just want to say, you know, as well for Kyren, you know, he's a top player. You know, he's improving all the time, and all that. You know, he fell off the tour. He was always going to get back on the tour. When you've got that desire and that hunger and that belief in your ability, yeah, you might have to work in a bar for a bit. You might have to do bits and pieces, but deep down that fire is burning bright enough, so you actually get there in the end. And you know, so he's a winner, and he will win this tournament one day. Not to put too much pressure on him, but he is a country mile above everybody else around his age, and he'll be the first to admit that he's always watching the Higginses, the Williamses, and the likes of them players, because he wants to raise that bar as well. So when someone's that student about their sport, you know that they're going to have plenty of good days as well. So his time's definitely going to come.
Beautifully said. All the pundits down in our studio in London are saying you are now unequivocally the greatest. 37 ranking titles. No one's won more Triple Crowns. Tying Hendry on 7, is it even a relevance? Are you happy to be with Steve on 6?
I'm happy to be on 1. I was happy to get 1 at one stage. You know, 2 was great, and once I hit 4, I went, you know, I can call myself like one of the greats, you know, because all the greats seem to have done it. I look at John Higgins and go, he's a great, you know. So if he's won it 4 times, that's what you've got to do to be a great. Probably put Mark Williams in there just about.
Well, he's won 3.
Yeah, but I'll put it at 4. So anything above 4, you got, you know, you kind of, you're in that sort of fantastic company, I suppose. But I think, you know, 30s. The way I look at it is though, like, it's with the records with Hendry, it's like if I've played more tournaments than him to get there, I think who got there first? I'm not sure, so you'll have to ask someone of the stats. But I'm always, if I've played 1,000 tournaments and he's only made 500 and I'm just about beating his records, then I'd rather have Stephen's CV, do you know what I mean? So you'll have to get your statistic book out for that. But I suppose my thing has been longevity. You know, I go in and out of form, you know, my mind can wander sometimes, but then I just get a little bit of a taste for it and think, come on, let's see if you still got it. And start to, you know, try and have a go again, like I have done this tournament, you know.
And just finally, a word for your fans. They have followed you for decades. This is a very difficult time for so many people. Yeah. Once again, they have turned out in great numbers. This has been a journey not just for you, but for everybody who supported you. And it must give you great pride that you've given people something to focus on other than the virus over the last 17 days.
Yeah, well, listen, I want to thank my sponsors as well, Affinity. They've been fantastic, you know. Without their support, without 19.com support, you know, I wouldn't be able to put the hours in and sacrifice some of the things I had to sacrifice, because like Kyren says, we all need support. You know, we play snooker, but it's nice to have people around you that are able to support you through that, so you can make it such a comfortable ride. And hopefully Affinity are going to try and create a wonderful app where they can sort me out the perfect cue action, because they're good at doing that stuff. So I've given them a task. I said, come on, create it so as I can, like, you know, get the perfect cue action, because, you know, as snooker players, that's all we want to do. That's all. Listen, when you put in 5 or 6 hours in a day, it's not because you like the sound of the balls hitting the back of the pocket. It's like, can I be hitting it straight enough so as when I come and play under pressure, it stands up? And that's why we put all the hours in, not because, you know, we'd rather be sitting there watching Match of the Day, to be honest, or watching you off hanging off of some boat interviewing someone while he's doing the rowing. You know?
Well, that was a long time ago, as was your first major triumph. 27 years of longevity, ladies and gentlemen. There is only one Ronnie O'Sullivan. And Ronnie, there is an old silver lady who's been waiting for a kiss for 7 years. Would you please raise the trophy? You are the 2020 Betfred World Snooker Champion.
Congratulations, Ronnie O'Sullivan. You are looking at one of the greatest sports stars this country has ever produced. No doubt about it. And he has fine television choice as well. He watches Match of the Day, JP.
Oh, man of my own heart. But we really should cherish him, to be honest with you. I mean, he's got fantastic longevity, but how many more years he'll go on for playing, I don't know. But it's a treat watching him play. When he plays properly, there's nobody quite like him.
I think he's I think it's officially the only player to have ever won in 3 separate decades. So he talks about his longevity. He should be proud of that. That's such a tough thing to do. The standard ever improving, and he's still out there at the top. And I think he's capable of going even further, certainly into his 50s, should he so wish.
These are brilliant pictures, aren't they? 6 world titles, John.
Phenomenal achievement, and, you know, draws level with the man sitting next to me, which is no mean feat in itself. And he could carry. I mean, it's all down to him. If he wants to carry on and put the hours in and keep playing and competing, he could get up to Stephen's record, that's for sure, and win another one.
And we spoke about this during the tournament as well, didn't we, Steve and John, about the very fact that he's got to be up there with the greatest sports stars that have played the sports. And I was saying to you just a few weeks back, I did a radio interview just a few weeks before the Crucible started, and people saying to me, where does watching Ronnie O'Sullivan rank with being pitch side at World Cup finals and Six Nations matches? And I said, right at the very top.
It's a treat to come to the Crucible and to come and see him play live. And when he's absolutely at it and at his best, there's nothing quite like it. And the fact he's so ambidextrous, I mean, he throws the cue over and plays shots left-handed. Other people couldn't play right-handed. I mean, that is just a scary amount of talent that he's got. And let's not forget, by the way, Jason, he's had to dig in as well here. He was 6-2 down to Mark Williams in one of the rounds, quarter-final. He was 16-14 down to Mark Selby. And as good as he is, that's how hard he had to work to win this.
And when he started smashing around that pink, we were thinking, is he on his way out?
Well, he came in with a game plan to play a fast attacking game, and it was a risky one, but it paid off in the end. Wouldn't it be nice to see him win Sports Personality of the Year? It's not been the best year for sport. Surely he's got to be up there in the nominations this year.
It's been severely disrupted, of course. And this is wonderful, isn't it? Because, you know, we were very anxious and worried, weren't we, John, about fans being in for the final. And how lovely to see Ronnie showing that trophy off to those fans who simply adore him.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you know, he does various interviews, and sometimes he says he's not bothered, and look at him there. Of course he's bothered. He wants to win. He wouldn't put the hours in the club if it didn't mean a lot to him. And to win it 6 times is one heck of an achievement.
He's more of a student of the game than you would ever think. You think he just goes out on the table, crash, bang, wallop. He studied the game, he studied his action, his technique, he's tried to work out the best ways to play the game. Even if when it goes wrong, OK, he sort of says, I don't care about it. He does. You don't stay in the game that long without absolutely loving the game of snooker and wanting to get the best out of yourself. Obviously, he's been through ups and downs from a psychological state, but he's always had snooker at the back of his mind, even if he's been up and down in the snooker world. He's always wanted to achieve perfection, and also tactically he's so wonderful as well.
And he's also box office as well, John, because without Ronnie O'Sullivan, one has to wonder about what World Snooker would do, because when he speaks, whether you like it or not, he makes the back pages.
Well, he does. I think he likes a bit of publicity now and again, which is sometimes is a little bit deliberate, but look, he's just the most watchable player we have in our sport.